Hi, I'm Devin Varner from Varner Equipment in Delta, Colorado. Today I'd like to talk to you about bale processors and what we can offer you here in Western Colorado. We're a dealer for Bale King bale processors, like the one sitting here right behind us. This unit here is an 8100 Bale King. This is capable of handling 4x4 square bales, 3x4s, 3x3s, or any of your round bales through it. This is one of their most versatile processors that they built, where it will do the squares and the rounds. If you're not needing that option, Bale King also offers it in a 5100 or a 6100. Their new numbers that are going to be coming out this year will just put a 2 behind them, so 5200, 6200, 8200s. The difference is going to be a 5200 will be the same right-hand discharge as this machine. The only thing it will not be capable of running square bales through it. It's going to be a round bale only machine. The 6200s is Bale King's version of having an accumulator essentially behind it, where you can carry 5 round bales on the back, then have your processor on the front, but that is once again just strictly a round bale unit. This particular machine here is a pretty popular machine for us, where a guy can run the round bales, can run square bales through it. This machine will have a deflector shield down here that will cause it to blow the material up, and then another deflector shield here that will cause it to drop the material back down. So if you do want to try to feed in a bunk or in a feeder, this machine will do it, as well as if you wanted to put straw in it to bed your pins, to do some reclamation work, you can blow material out of here 60, 80 feet. It'll really shoot it out of the machine. One of the biggest differences when you start looking at Bale King over some of our competitors' processors is when you look at the actual hammers inside the machine. This one runs all of your hammers on a rotor in there that is shaped like an X. With your, it'll have your hammers out on the tips of the X. When you look at a lot of our competitors, they use a round steel mandrel and then they weld the hammers to it. This one here being on that X acts as a big fan blade. And so it's actually has a blowing motion with that to blow the material out of the side, and it will also wrap up any baling twine or anything like that. It'll put into the processor, it'll wrap it around that mandrel. When it gets wrapped around there, the processor comes with a knife that you can just take out of the processor, reach up in there and cut all the baling twine off of there. And so it's a real easy process if it does wrap up baling twine around there to get it off. Another thing that will set this machine apart is Bale King uses no chains and no slats, sprockets, any of that to keep the bale turning. This one will have 2 hydraulic motors right up front, one here, one over there, that run agitators inside of them, but there's nothing as far as a chain that's going to sit there and give you trouble down the road as far as breaking a chain, getting stuff stuck in it, that to keep your bale turning round and round and round. The way this processor runs a square bale through them is this big wing on the side is hydraulic, and it will lay down so you can load a bale in the back, and then that wing will lift up and kind of dump it down into the processor. It's an adjustable rib inside here, so you can adjust the thickness, the length of material that you're cutting. You can adjust all that in there, so when you put it out into a windrow for your cows, if you want it a little bit finer chopped, you can do that, or if you want it a little bit longer, you can leave it that way. Bale King also does sell a fine chop kit for these. If you're wanting to chop the material up a little bit finer, they do sell a fine chop kit that can be bolted into the machine to make it work that way. When you look at this processor from front to back and you compare it to a lot of our competition out there, just look at the heft of it. The tongue, the frame, the tires, the axles, everything about this is a bigger, heavier built, you could even say better processor than a lot of guys that are out there as far as what they build in a processor. So the next time you're looking for a processor to handle your hay, to feed your cattle with for reclamation work, give us a call. We'd be happy to talk to you about it, and we'd be happy to show you what we can do for you. Thanks.